They say a perfect crime leaves no trace.
But every killer leaves a story written in the details.
Welcome to Evidence and Elegance. I'm Rachel.
I'm Sam. We're sisters, total true crime obsessives, and your guides through the dark.
We created this channel because we got tired of sensational headlines and rushed summaries. True stories deserve a real breakdown.
We're stepping past the rumors to look at the hard forensics, the digital paper trails, and the legal strategies that solve cases.
Expect deep investigations, opinions for days, and zero filters from us.
And plenty of overthinking. Think of it as late-night true crime deep dives with your sister.
So grab your favorite drink, buckle all the way up, and let's examine the evidence all together.
Hit that subscribe button and welcome to the circle. Let's break it down.
From a single trace of evidence found within the silent remnants, building narratives from testimony, searching for that one true clarity. Every exhibit admissible and weighed for the foundation of the case we've made. We bridge the gap with studied elegance. This is Evidence and Elegance.
Today we are getting into the Lindsay Clancy trial, day 20. The prosecution is calling their final rebuttal witness to dismantle the defense's claim that Lindsay was suffering from command hallucinations. We are days away from closing arguments, so let's dive in.
And did you form an opinion to a reasonable degree of psychological certainty as to whether Ms. Clancy was able to conform her conduct to the requirements of the law when she killed her children?
Yes.
And what is that opinion?
That her capacity to conform her conduct to the requirements of the law is, again, best understood by considering the seriousness of her suicide attempt and her strong desire not to leave her children. She demonstrated such self-control throughout the day on January 24th, and her actions between 5:15 and 6 p.m. that afternoon were influenced by her depression and her hopelessness about her life and the desire to end the pain she had experienced since October. Although this depression and hopelessness influenced her decisions, she retained control over whether, when, and how she carried it out, and the inclusion of her children.
And doctor, did you form an opinion to a reasonable degree of psychological certainty as to whether or not the defendant was criminally responsible when she killed her children?
Yes.
And what is that opinion?
My opinion, my clinical opinion, since I'm not the decision maker here, but my clinical opinion is that she was criminally responsible on January 24th.
Hey everybody. I want to start by saying, hey, I hope everybody had a good day. I hope everybody is taking care of themselves. I am tired. I got running makeup, but hey, this is how we do. So I wanted to give an update on Lindsay Clancy. I want to, if you would be so kind to subscribe so we can do these live. But today was day 20 of the Lindsay Clancy murder trial. Major expert testimony from the prosecution's final rebuttal witness, bringing the evidence portion almost to an end. Almost. We're not quite there. There's going to be more testimony tomorrow with Dr. Gregory Stathoff. But after that, they'll do the charging. They'll charge the jury with their instructions. There'll have to be some charge conference. We'll get to closing statements. And then finally, the case will go to the jury. So Monday, obviously, was the end of the day. Was they had a motion for a mistrial, which was denied because of the mortal sin comment for a second time. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but those questions make me cringe. Just because I know they have no place in trial. I'm not Catholic, so, you know, I don't pretend to even to know all the things. But to say that wasn't intentional, I don't know how you get around that. But I also understand, you know, the judge instructions and striking the testimony. That's a correction, so that's where we are. So we start today with Dr. Hilbrun returning to the stand. He testified that Clancy possessed mortal awareness during the events and is criminally responsible for the deaths of her 3 children, while Clancy told him she felt disassociated and like she was watching herself respond to a voice. So he said that this reaction is common for individuals experiencing trauma rather than true psychosis. Okay. He noted that she still had to make a conscious decision about where to take the children and what tools to use. So, I don't know. To me, it's kind of the same. All the experts are kind of saying the same thing, but they're saying the same thing and using different laws and logic to voice their opinions. So then we had Dr. Gregory Stathoff testifying. He's going to be the final witness. He will finish up tomorrow. So he explicitly cast doubt on Lindsay's claim of auditory hallucinations. He testified that her description of a voice that stopped abruptly right after the killing was inconsistent with genuine psychosis, stating committing the act is not curative of the voice. He also revealed that Clancy had filled a prescription for the mood stabilizer Lamictal, but chose not to take it due to fear of rash without her treating psychiatrist being notified. Now, before I get to cross-examination on Dr. Hilbrun, I want to say I think that it's very apparent that Lindsay was very, very concerned about the reactions to medications that she could possibly take. Like, we have a theory of, I took this medicine for a minute, was worried about side effects, it seems like that's a pretty common theme. And her knowing side effects as being a nurse, she was worried about all those. I think that's pretty apparent in this. And of course, not wanting to contaminate her breast milk was another thing. So I feel like that's pretty, to me anyway, it seems like that's a common theme. So Kevin Reddington, her attorney, aggressively crossed Daniel Hilbrun, attacking his specific qualifications, diagnostic conclusions, and the timeline used to evaluate Clancy's mental health. The defense maintains that Clancy was in the severe grip of bipolar disorder and postpartum psychosis, making her legally insane and unable to appreciate the wrongfulness of her actions at the time of the tragedy. So nothing, I don't think anything new or devastating or, for either side has come out. So here's where I'm at with some of this. There are support groups, right? And one of these support groups is Lindsay Me Too. I think we got to be real careful. I think we have to be incredibly, incredibly careful. There is a big difference between supporting the awareness of mental health and supporting the actions of someone who suffered a possible psychosis with mental health. These Me Too movements are not, that's not it. I've kind of been almost defending people, like they're rallying around the fact that the mental health care system appears to have failed this woman. But this Lindsay Me Too, probably no, probably not that. I think that hearing testimony yesterday and today, I am under the thought process of, if the voices were her own voices and she's struggling with mental health and she wanted to unalive herself and she felt as though her kids would not be okay without her, you know, and that's why she took them. She's not in the right state of mind. I don't know that either side has proven to me with beyond a reasonable doubt that she either was or wasn't. So by the law, if the defense has to prove nothing, they don't have to prove a thing. So by the law, if the Commonwealth hasn't proven anything to me, then I am a guilty because she has stipulated to the facts, but not responsible because they haven't proven me otherwise. Defense doesn't have to prove anything. So even though they haven't really proven it to me either, they don't have to. So that's where I stand, but I want to be very clear. I don't think Lindsay should go free. I don't think she should get a flat out not guilty. I don't think that I think she is responsible for what happened on a certain level. So there's consequences that come with that. Now the law will decide what those are, but if it's you know, a mental institution, then that's what it is. And I'm kind of in that boat. I think she was failed by her physicians. I think she was failed by her psychiatrist. I think she was failed by the people that she was calling out for help for. And while I am not in the boat of Patrick Clancy did it, because I will never be on that boat, I do think that he didn't do everything that he probably should have to help her. Now, saying that, do I think he's responsible for this? No. Because I think when people when they're not capable of committing an act, or they don't think somebody is, it's hard to process, it's hard to wrap your mind around it. I don't think you have the ability to. But again, if she's saying certain things, he has ownership in getting her help. But it sounds like that's what they were trying to do. So I'm not putting any blame on him. It's a hard place to be in. But I do think everybody failed her. And I'm really struggling with where this lies. I am really thankful that I'm not on the jury. I just give my opinion. You can take it for what it's worth. So yeah. So going forward, I do want to be able to go live and do updates and have conversations and do, you know, all of those things. So if you would subscribe, I would really appreciate that. And we can get to the meat and bones of it. I'm also, I work full time, and you know, if we could get on here and break down a trial day and break it down just later in time, no spoilers, none of that, just, you know, if we can do that, that's the type of thing I want to do, I'm interested in. But obviously, like everybody else, I can't watch a video, or I get busy at work, so I am doing my own thing, and then all of a sudden we're halfway into the court day and I don't have a clue what has happened. So that's kind of what I want to do. I want to bring the court day live, delayed, not live, but you know, for us that haven't watched it, it would be nice to just be able to watch the court, watch the trial, break it down, have the communication in the time that we are able to watch it. So I appreciate all of you. This was just a quick update video. Stay tuned for our breakdown and opinions on the Jodi Arias case. That was a hot one. So we will be uploading that hopefully by the end of tonight. But otherwise, I will catch you guys later. Bye.
From a single trace of evidence found within the silent remnants, building narratives from testimony, searching for that one true clarity. Every exhibit admissible and weighed for the foundation of the case we've made. We bridge the gap with studied elegance. This is evidence and elegance.